Is simply taking medication regularly enough to control high blood pressure? Many people believe so, until they experience complications despite following their treatment plan. Millions of older adults are living with hypertension, and many of them are unknowingly making dangerous mistakes repeatedly in how they manage their health. The risk lies in the fact that we often don't recognize these mistakes until the consequences appear. A stroke, heart failure, or worse. So what are the common mistakes that you or your loved ones might be making? And how can you avoid them in a simple, effective way without making major lifestyle changes? This video will help you identify 7 dangerous yet often overlooked mistakes in managing high blood pressure, along with practical suggestions to gradually improve your condition. If you find this topic important, please share it with your loved ones, especially those who are on the journey of maintaining their health in older age. Have you ever experienced a similar situation? Or do you have questions about high blood pressure? Don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's explore the 7 common yet preventable mistakes so that each day in your later years can be a healthier one. Many people believe that taking medication most of the time is good enough. But in reality, when it comes to high blood pressure, missing just a few doses or taking them at the wrong time can lead to loss of control in ways you never expected. Have you ever forgotten to take your medication because you were busy, or delayed it, thinking, it's probably fine if I take it a bit later? These seemingly harmless actions can seriously impact your blood pressure and your overall health. Unstable blood pressure isn't caused only by stress or salty foods. One of the most silent yet common causes is a lack of discipline in taking medication. When you miss a dose, your blood pressure may spike or fluctuate, increasing the risk of stroke, heart failure, or kidney damage. Even more dangerously, if missed doses become frequent, your body loses the rhythm that your doctor has carefully established through your prescription. The result? Irregular cardiovascular function that puts added strain on your kidneys and brain. Another common mistake is stopping medication on your own when you feel better. The truth is, feeling fine doesn't mean your blood pressure is fully stable. Suddenly stopping your medication can cause a rebound effect. Your blood pressure may surge even higher than before, as your body has adapted to the regulating effects of the medication. Some people even adjust their dosage themselves, taking less to avoid side effects or more when they feel unwell. All of these behaviors carry serious risks. The good news is, you can absolutely reestablish stability and safety in your blood pressure medication routine. Even if you've missed doses in the past or haven't been fully consistent, there are always ways to improve. What matters most is taking the initiative to create a support system so you no longer have to rely on memory alone every day. Start with small but practical steps. Use a daily pill organizer, available at any pharmacy, which allows you to see at a glance whether you've taken your medication. Set recurring alarms on your phone, especially helpful if your schedule changes often. Try setting the reminder for the same time each day to build a consistent habit. You can also use a calendar note or a health app. Many apps today not only remind you when to take your medication, but also help you track reactions, side effects, and notes to share with your doctor. And most importantly, never change your dosage without consulting a medical professional. Taking your medication on time and in the correct dose isn't just a way to prevent serious complications. It's an act of taking control over your life. When you take charge of something as simple as remembering your medication, you're laying the foundation for long-term health stability. And remember, every time you take your medication on time, are one step closer to a stronger, freer life with less anxiety about illness. Now, after making sure you're taking your medication properly, let's turn our attention to another silent enemy that could be affecting your blood pressure every day without you even realizing it: the hidden salt content in seemingly harmless foods. Salt doesn't just come from the shaker in your kitchen. In fact, most of the sodium you consume each day comes from sources you might not expect. Canned foods, sauces, bread, and even meals marketed as healthy. Excessive intake of hidden salt is one of the leading causes of high blood pressure, even if you think you're eating sensibly. Salt, or more specifically sodium, when present in excess in the body, causes the blood to retain more water, increasing blood volume and placing added pressure on blood vessel walls. The result is elevated blood pressure. The problem is, your body doesn't send clear warning signs when sodium accumulates too much. You don't feel any different until a doctor checks your blood pressure and gives you a number that takes you by surprise. That's why controlling your daily sodium intake is so important, especially for older adults, when kidney function naturally becomes less efficient. So how can you identify and reduce hidden salt in your meals without turning your food bland and boring? Start by carefully reading food labels whenever you shop. Choose products labeled low sodium or those containing less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. It may sound small, but it's a powerful way to manage your total daily salt intake. Next, when using canned foods like beans, tuna, or vegetables, rinse them thoroughly under running water to remove the outer layer of salt. This simple action can reduce sodium content by up to 40%. When cooking at home, instead of adding salt, try using natural seasonings like garlic, pepper, turmeric, cumin, or lemon juice to enhance flavor without relying on salt. These seasonings not only boost taste but also offer heart-healthy benefits. Don't forget that some seemingly harmless foods are actually salt traps. One slice of bread can contain up to 200 milligrams of sodium. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce can carry over 800 milligrams. Add it all up, and you can easily exceed the recommended daily limit in a single meal if you're not paying attention. That's why building the habit of checking and choosing wisely is key. Changing your taste preferences is never easy, especially if you've eaten salty foods for many years. But the human body is incredibly adaptable. After just 2 to 3 weeks of cutting back on salt, your taste buds will adjust and start to enjoy more natural, subtle flavors. It's a transition anyone can make, and the reward is a healthier body and a more resilient heart. Reducing salt doesn't mean giving up delicious meals. It's simply a smart choice to keep your blood pressure stable, ease the burden on your heart and kidneys, and avoid silent threats like stroke or heart failure. Start with small actions, read food labels, rinse canned goods, and choose natural spices. Every decision you make today helps shape your long-term health for the years ahead. Not monitoring your blood pressure regularly is like driving without checking your speedometer. You have no idea whether you're safe or approaching a danger zone. Blood pressure isn't something you can feel instinctively. Many people only discover they have high blood pressure after a complication has already occurred, simply because they only check it during routine doctor visits, which may happen just once every few months or even years. One of the most common mistakes among adults is judging cardiovascular health based on how they feel. But blood pressure doesn't provide clear warnings. You might feel perfectly fine while the pressure inside your arteries is silently increasing day by day. That's why monitoring your blood pressure at home, consistently and systematically, is one of the most important habits for managing the condition. Scientifically speaking, blood pressure can fluctuate throughout the day depending on sleep quality, stress levels, food intake, physical activity, weather, and even emotional states. Measuring blood pressure only at the clinic isn't enough for doctors to accurately assess your condition, because the number recorded could reflect anxiety, known as white coat syndrome, or be artificially low due to rest beforehand. In contrast, home monitoring in a familiar setting provides a more accurate picture of your true blood pressure patterns. You don't need complex or expensive medical equipment to do this. A reliable digital blood pressure monitor, either wrist or upper arm type, is enough to get started. What matters is measuring at the same time each day, for example, in the morning after waking up and in the evening before bed, sitting upright, relaxing for at least 5 minutes before the reading, and remaining still and silent during the measurement. Record the results in a notebook, an Excel sheet, or a mobile app, so you or your doctor can track changes over time. This data not only helps your doctor fine-tune your medication, but also gives you deeper insight into your own body. You'll start to notice the relationship between your daily habits and your blood pressure readings. A poor night's sleep, saltier meals, or a stressful day can all push the numbers higher. From there, you can adjust your lifestyle more proactively instead of reacting only when problems arise. Monitoring your blood pressure regularly is a sign of responsibility and respect for your own health. It's a tool that empowers you to take control rather than just rely on others. When you log your numbers each day, you're writing your own health story, clearly, accurately, and with long-term value. And every number you track today is a step toward protecting your heart for tomorrow. Have you ever felt your heart racing, your head heavy, or your sleep restless after a stressful day? That feeling isn't just ordinary fatigue. It's a warning sign that your cardiovascular system is under the strain of prolonged emotional pressure. And if this continues, your blood pressure could be seriously affected without you even realizing it. Stress, whether from work, family, finances, or health, is an inevitable part of life. But when stress becomes chronic, your body continuously produces hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, causing your blood vessels to constrict, your heart rate to rise, and your blood pressure to spike. This is a natural survival response, but when it happens daily for weeks, months, or even years, it disrupts your body's internal balance. What's troubling is that stress can't be easily measured like blood pressure. It silently builds up through sleepless nights, moments of irritability, skipped meals, and vague feelings of anxiety. And it doesn't just raise your blood pressure, it can also reduce the effectiveness of your medication, leading to a vicious cycle. Stress, elevated blood pressure, fatigue, more stress. Many people don't realize that their own emotional state might be the root cause of their declining health, even if they're eating well and taking their medication properly. But the good news is, you absolutely can take control of stress. You don't have to eliminate it. That's unrealistic. Instead, learn to manage and transform it into positive energy. Start by creating small pauses in your day. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes each morning to practice deep breathing. Inhale slowly, hold for a few seconds, then exhale gently. This simple technique has been proven to lower heart rate and stabilize blood pressure. If possible, take a walk outdoors, in a park, your backyard, or just around the neighborhood. Physical movement combined with natural light helps lift your mood and triggers relaxation hormones. Another powerful habit is journaling. Write down your feelings each day, what's worrying you, what you're grateful for. It can bring mental clarity and emotional relief. Gentle music, yoga, meditation, or simply talking to a trusted friend can be just as effective for your mind as any prescription. Stress management is a skill, not something you're born with, but something anyone can learn. When you start incorporating relaxation habits into your daily routine, you're not just helping to regulate your blood pressure. You're calming your entire nervous system, improving your sleep, your mood, and even your immune system. And the best part is, you can start today. No special equipment, no cost, just a little awareness and a small commitment to yourself. Now that you've learned how to manage your emotional health, let's turn to another often overlooked physical factor: the lack of movement in your daily life. Have you ever realized that you've been sitting for hours without standing up even once? In modern society, prolonged sitting, whether in front of a screen, in a car, or on the sofa, has become so common that it's almost invisible. Yet this quiet habit poses a serious threat to cardiovascular health, especially to blood pressure. When the body remains inactive, blood circulation slows down, muscles don't contract enough to support the heart, and levels of blood sugar and fat tend to rise. This condition forces the heart to work harder to pump blood, increasing pressure on artery walls and gradually raising blood pressure over time. This sedentary lifestyle not only contributes to obesity, but also heightens the risk of stroke, diabetes, and heart failure, even if you're taking your medication regularly. But you don't need to become an athlete or join a gym to make a difference. The great news is, small, consistent changes in your daily habits are enough to significantly improve blood pressure and overall health. Start with simple yet effective actions. Stand up and walk around for a few minutes after every 30 to 60 minutes of sitting. Set an alarm or use an app to remind you to stand up and stretch. It may seem minor, but it's essential. If you're working at a desk, try using a standing desk or doing some stretches for your neck, shoulders, and back right at your station. Walking is a fantastic option. It requires no equipment and no special guidance. Just 20 to 30 minutes of walking each day can strengthen your heart, boost circulation, and gradually stabilize your blood pressure. If you find intense movement difficult, try chair yoga, simple, gentle exercises designed for older adults or those with joint issues. These movements activate muscles, improve breathing, and reduce stress. Make movement a joyful part of life. Gardening, walking your pet, light dancing to music, or even playing with your grandchildren. When you associate movement with pleasure, it becomes much easier to maintain the habit. The body is a living system. It needs to be activated daily. Physical activity is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to regulate your blood pressure naturally without needing more medication. Every step you take, every time you rise from your chair, is a message to your heart saying, "I'm right here with you." Morning coffee and evening glass of wine. These habits may seem harmless, even healthy when consumed in moderation. But what happens if you use them frequently, in amounts beyond what your body can handle? Overusing caffeine or alcohol, even unintentionally, can silently contribute to dangerously high blood pressure. Caffeine is a stimulant that increases heart rate and constricts blood vessels, which raises blood pressure, sometimes just minutes after drinking. For some, the body adapts quickly, and blood pressure returns to normal. But for many others, especially older adults or those sensitive to caffeine, the effect can last for hours and build up over time, especially when multiple cups are consumed each day. This effect is even more pronounced if coffee is consumed on an empty stomach or combined with stress. Similarly, alcohol, when consumed excessively, can damage blood vessels, reduce the body's sensitivity to insulin, and impair liver function. All of these factors contribute to elevated blood pressure. Moreover, alcohol can interact with blood pressure medications, reducing their effectiveness or increasing the risk of side effects such as dizziness, fatigue, or dangerously low blood pressure. The solution isn't about cutting these out entirely. It's about understanding your body's limits and making smart choices. With caffeine, observe how your body reacts after drinking. If you notice a racing heart, restlessness, trouble sleeping, or headaches, you may be consuming too much. Try gradually reducing your daily intake or switching to lower caffeine options like green tea or decaf coffee. Herbal teas are also a great alternative, gentle on the heart and soothing to the mind. For alcohol, the golden rule is 1 drink a day is enough. And don't save up drinks for the weekend to make up. 1 drink means approximately 150 milliliters of wine, 350 milliliters of beer, or 45 milliliters of spirits. Choose special occasions to enjoy a drink, and don't let alcohol become your default stress reliever. If you notice that you're using alcohol to cope with stress, consider healthier alternatives. Going for a walk, listening to music, taking a warm bath, or journaling. Managing caffeine and alcohol isn't about restriction. It's about consciously protecting the stability of your blood pressure and the clarity of your mind. Small habits, when adjusted wisely, can help you live a healthier life without giving up the things you enjoy. Choose moderation over excess, and you'll gradually find your health becoming more balanced with each passing day. Have you ever felt hesitant to call your doctor just because of a mild bout of dizziness? Or thought that minor side effects from medication were tolerable and didn't need to be reported? Many adults, especially older ones, tend to silently endure or try to manage changes in their health on their own without informing their doctor. But that silence can disrupt treatment and make blood pressure harder to control than ever. We often believe doctors only need to know the important things. But what qualifies as important is subjective. Some people think dizziness, insomnia, or headaches are just part of life. Others hesitate to mention difficulty affording their medication. Some aren't sure when they took their last dose, or feel embarrassed to admit they missed a few. The result is that doctors receive only part of the picture, while key details get left out. An effective medical relationship requires two-way communication. Without open sharing, your doctor may struggle to accurately assess your condition, adjust medications properly, or recommend the best treatment strategy. The greatest risk is continuing with medications or habits that aren't right for you, leading to increased blood pressure or complications without your knowledge. You don't need to be a medical expert to communicate effectively with your doctor. Just start by keeping a journal. Each blood pressure reading at home, any unusual reactions after taking your medication, changes in your diet or sleep, every note is valuable. When you go in for your appointment, bring those notes and share them honestly. No detail is too small, if it affects how you feel day to day. If you're having trouble accessing your medication due to high costs, lack of insurance coverage, or supply issues, tell your doctor directly. They may be able to prescribe a more affordable alternative, a simpler regimen, or refer you to financial assistance programs through pharmaceutical companies. You are not alone, but you need to speak up to get the support you deserve. Think of communicating with your doctor as a key part of your proactive health strategy. When you build a strong connection with your healthcare provider, you not only improve treatment outcomes, but also reduce anxiety and become more empowered to face any unexpected changes. Honest sharing is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's how you and your doctor work together to protect your heart, stabilize your blood pressure, and maintain a healthier, safer, and more independent life each day. Your care for health, whether it's for yourself or a loved one, is the most valuable thing, and no medication can replace that. Together, we've just explored 7 common but dangerous mistakes that many older adults make when managing high blood pressure. From skipping doses, consuming hidden salt, and a lack of movement to hesitating to communicate with doctors, each habit, if left unaddressed, can silently impact the heart in daily life. But the good news is, you absolutely can make a change, starting with the smallest actions. So after watching this video, what surprised you the most? Have you ever made one of these mistakes? Or do you have your own tips for keeping your blood pressure stable each day? Share your experience in the comments because your story might inspire someone out there to take better care of themselves. If you found this information helpful, don't hesitate to hit the like button and share this video with your loved ones, especially those on the journey of managing their blood pressure. Every share you make could help someone avoid serious, preventable complications. I truly look forward to continuing this journey with you in upcoming videos, where we'll learn together how to live healthier, longer, and more meaningfully at any age. Follow the page so you won't miss the latest content, because it's never too late to start living better, more mindfully, more intentionally, and more fully each day.